your memory is dependent. You're not independent in your recall. There are three things I mentioned that the Lord gives to the living entity. He provides. Smritir Jnanam Apohanam. He provides their ability to remember, their knowledge, and their forgetfulness. So even if they're liberated, not only if they're conditioned. Karma means when they're conditioned. So when we are conditioned, yes, it's by our karma, but it's always dependent. But even when you're free from karma, you're still dependent. That's the distinction between the part and parcel and the Supreme Lord. The part and parcel is dependent on the Lord for these things. Nityo nityanam chetana chetanam eko bahunam yovidada. Even in a spiritual condition, the Supreme is sustaining the part and parcel. Sustaining doesn't mean eating, sleeping. That's bodily. It is sustaining him spiritually.
I have one more clarification that that memory that we are speaking, that it is material.
I'm sorry, what?
The memory which we have, it is material.
Is material.
Yeah, material. Then the memories which we get like we don't have that the memories like Bharat Maharaj had the memories of the, as you mentioned. So it is his memory is in certain point like subtle body, or how we can understand that?
Right.
How?
Okay. See. Something is material because it's used material. Just like mind is not really material, mind is spiritual. But when you come in contact with material energy, it becomes contaminated mind. So memory is a function that's there in the spiritual world. But when you're in contact with the material world, it takes on a material color, memory, remembrances. They're all to do with. Right. So Bharat Maharaj, he was becoming free from that material conditioning. He was, in the form of Jad Bharat, he became fully spiritual memory. You see, he didn't have a material memory then. So these things are originally spiritual, but now they're covered. So when you revive your spiritual nature, your mind becomes spiritual, your intelligence is spiritual, your senses are spiritual, your memories are spiritual. Everything is spiritual because they already exist. Now they're contaminated. Does that make sense?
That means that one place Prabhupada says that even if you are God conscious, then you are, the liberated. He talks about liberated persons even being in material world. Will that relate to that?
But I didn't understand your point clearly.
Yeah, my point is that being in this material world, Prabhupada talks.
Are you talking about Jivan Mukta?
Yes.
Sauchate?
Yes.
Right. Yes, because he appears material to us, but actually is completely spiritualized. Prabhupada gave the example of an iron rod in fire. If it is so long in the fire, it no longer acts as iron. It acts as fire. Fire being spiritual now. So when a devotee becomes spiritualized, even though he looks material to our eyes, everything about him is spiritual. That's why the body of a pure devotee is not burnt, because we treat it as spiritual.
I have one more small question.
You're welcome.
It is not from this class. I have just different question about the impersonalism. That the jivas and Bhagavan, are connected, means the jiva is depending on the Krishna, Bhagavan is super soul, soul is depending on super soul. There is a dependency, and as far as the impersonalists, and they won't depend on Krishna, and they everything they say that impersonalism, there is no God, and in one sense they are also jivas and they are depending on Krishna. Then in one sense, other way we say that they are not.
So that's a verse that's going to come in a few verses. Ye yathamam prapadyanti. That according to the living entity's conception or desire, Krishna fulfills it, even if that conception is impersonal, is impersonal in nature. He doesn't know that Krishna is doing it, but he does it. Even the materialist, the atheist, he doesn't know it's God doing it, but God is arranging for all his needs.
That means based on his consciousness.
He reciprocates, the Lord reciprocates according to the person. Bhava, his own sentiment, his own conception. Alright.
Thank you.
Earlier people used to be Shruti Dhara, they used to hear and just get into it and they would recall it whenever they want. But now we see no Shruti Dhara. So we heard that Krishna provides the memory and power to recall. So is there a hand of Kali, means Krishna is collaborating with Kali and that's why?
Yeah. The answer is yes and no. And I'll explain where it is yes and how it is no. Kali and material nature facilitate things. Facilitate. If you want to be a pure devotee, there's nothing Kali can do, or material nature for that matter can do. They just facilitators, they're not the cause. Just like winter comes, and people die. But people die in summer also. It can facilitate your dying, but it's not really the cause. You know what I mean? So Kali may have the answer for the environment we live in, but that environment doesn't dictate whether you're a pure devotee or not. That function is still there. So this memory is more to do with becoming Krishna conscious. So in Kali Yuga you can be Krishna conscious. Right? Now you mentioned Shruti Dhara. So that's an environment that was before Kali Yuga. You're right. So in other words, that's not facilitated by Kali Yuga. But Shruti Dhara and memory that we're speaking of is different. This is natural memory of our existence which we have forgotten. Shruti Dhara is when he hears something he doesn't forget. Even the Shruti Dhara, they didn't remember their last life. Right? They're just hearing today some mantra and they don't forget that mantra. They hear the whole Vedas, they don't forget the Vedas. But the idea of being able to remember your previous lives, just the same as you can remember things in this life, that's only bestowed by the Lord, if at all.
And in dreams we recall many things, and as we have heard that anything we dream of is nothing of is we do not dream anything which we have never experienced.
Yes, actually.
So when we recall them, so
Where did you get that? I mean, I know that, but where did you get that?
I was in Bhagavatam class, and it was a scientific. sort
Yeah.
of class.
Anyway, Prabhupada one time explained that people, whatever they imagine, is only possible because they have some experience of it. And when they imagine horror things, that means they're remembering experience in hell. Be careful what you dream.
It's in the story of King Paranjana. After Vrindavan, when he explains,
Is that wire go long enough? No.
it's long enough.
Oh, then pass it.
Yeah, we had that just a few months ago. It's towards the end of the story of King Paranjana. After Narad Muni has told the story, he explains the different allegories, and somewhere in there, Narad Muni actually says that what you dream from your past comes from your past lives. There's 2 or 3 verses on that topic.
Yeah, there is that. That's true. That's true. But I was more speaking of Prabhupada actually mentioned you know how people imagine things. He said there is a genesis of that, where that idea came from. You know, like they make science fiction, depict funny new monster species. He said he's remembering something.
Yeah, there was something about these punk rockers with their coloured hairstyles, and he pointed at one of these grasshopper things that in India
Yeah.
that are multicoloured,
Yeah.
and says it's the same thing.
Yeah, and the person he's like reliving his, pretty sad. Be careful. Any other questions? Prabhuji has a...
Hare Harirama Prabhu BG, such a authentic and beautiful presentation. Madhavendra Puri Das, as you were mentioning about Krishna telling Arjuna that, or Arjuna is saying also, explaining that he forgives also and can forget also. So whatever misdeeds one may do, even in Krishna, after coming in Krishna consciousness, just like while chanting also Namabhas is there, Shuddha Nam is there, offenseless chanting is there. So Krishna can forget also our misdeeds or not being so much perfect in Krishna consciousness or involved even after being in Krishna consciousness. Thoroughly involved.
Are you asking me to confirm that Krishna will forgive and forget our misdeeds or not? What's your...
Yeah, that at other places mentioned that Krishna says my devotee gets a special treatment.
Right, right. Is it a question, or I mean, what am I answering? What's my? Are you just pointing out a comment that Krishna looks after you? He will not.
Means that Krishna is all-pervading, so he can be here also, as he was here in Vrindavan in Exodus pastimes, and he can come whenever he likes, just like he came 500 years earlier.
Right. So I agree with all that, but then.
So Krishna forget also our, just like demons are there. So they have some demonic propensities, just
Okay,
like.
I'll agree with you. Krishna can forgive and forget. All right, thank you. You have a question? Yeah. One of you will have to get up.
Krishna. As Advaita, Krishna doesn't change his body.
Krishna doesn't change his body. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
When he incarnates Narasimha avatar or Kurma avatar, he changes his body. No?
That's
How
a
can
very
he
good
understand?
question. And that question is the subject of tomorrow's class.
Oh. Okay.
That's tomorrow's class. That question is the subject tomorrow.
Okay.
Sambhavami Atma Maya. That's what we're coming to. So remember that tomorrow.
Okay.
Another question?
No, not question. On interest thing. Prabhupada states in verse 5 that whenever Krishna incarnates, his associate, close associate also,
They come with him. Parisha.
in a different. And he stated some millions of years ago, when Krishna
Spoke to the sun god. Arjuna was also there. Right, he's-
present.
He's there in the purpose. So what's your question?
Bhagavad Gita was also not spoken by Krishna first time, and Arjuna was also not hearing first time.
Correct. Arjuna was not hearing first time.
First
That's
time.
true.
Okay. Yeah, we are also not
Hearing it first time. You know, here's a devotee who hasn't spoken for months, and when he speaks, it's very good. Yes, correct.
Okay. And one more thing. One time,
By the way, be careful. Huh? You're not hearing for the first time.
one time, Prabhupada was taking one class in Bengali language. Okay. The non-Bengali devotees, when started leaving, Prabhupada asked, why you are leaving?
Right.
They said, we don't
understand. Prabhupada said this spiritual sound vibration. You stay.
Don't worry, you sit, your Atma will listen. Okay, the same thing will happen to every living entity. Even if one lizard is there, if it watches this class, it will remember.
I got to thank you for those points. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you.
On realization.
Very good. Very good. Nice observation. Okay. We're not hearing for the first time.
Krishna only knows we are how many times we are listening Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. All right.
Krishna comes every millennium. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes once. Maybe you are referring to
No. He was making. It was understood. It was understood. Thank you.
And Acharyas also remember us Bhagavad Gita then and there.
Thank you. Granth Raj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki